Auto this year?
They just give me gear and I put it on. Yeah, I think it was one of our big things last year, just being connected. So might like the term. Equipment guys ran with it. Got the little logo in there. Kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's nice. Does it look good on me?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, sweet.
How, day two, I guess. I mean, you guys had kind of a two-a-day yesterday. You guys hit the court on Monday after having a weekend. Just what's kind of where you guys at right now?
Yeah, I think right where we expect to be. We have a lot to get in. It's still sloppy. It's funny, Mike. I'm always the one getting on Mike that we're going a little too long. We need to get our guys off the feet. And he called me last night and he's like, so 2 days of 2 days. He's like, are you sure? And I was like, gosh, I'm turning into you, you know. But it's good. We had a really light day this morning, and then we'll come back and scrimmage this afternoon. A lot of cleanup. We're making a lot of mistakes, but more so than anything, we're trying to play the way we want to play, and I commend the guys for picking a lot up in a short amount of time.
Are you guys trying to play faster again this year? Or are you trying to push even more than you did last year?
We can't play fast enough. In the NBA, everyone says they want to play fast. It's really tough to do it consistently. We have the luxury of having Fox, a ton of shooting around him, and the faster we can play, the earlier we can touch the paint. You cannot play fast enough with our group. I think we need to put the foot on the gas even more, and it starts with Summer League. Obviously, we don't have De'Aaron on our team, but those habits for Slauson and Keegan, even Kessler and Keon, even Nemi, rim running, they have to learn to play at the pace that we're trying to push them to, and hopefully we get to a point with our actual Kings team where we have to say, okay, we got to pump the brakes a little bit. Steve Kerr used to use the term fast, loose, but disciplined, and Mike uses it a lot. There's a trick to playing fast because you can get reckless. If you just play fast to play fast without the proper spacing, you're going to run into a lot of problems. But if you can play fast, if you can play loose, if you're open, shoot it. If you got to lean to attack, but then play discipline, limit the turnovers. I think we were really good offensively this past season in transition, but we were also had a huge number of turnovers that got us in some trouble. I think finding that happy medium, starting with the Summer League team, and then for our guys that will transition to the actual Kings team, is a huge point of emphasis for us.
And what's the biggest challenge in trying to incorporate young guys into that mentality where you are pushing the pace while knowing there's so much reading and reacting going on, more so than maybe set plays?
Yes, it's difficult. A lot of these guys come from colleges, and no disrespect to the college game. I love the college game, but it's a totally different brand of basketball where a lot of the structure is go do this, and then they go do it. Whereas especially with our system, a lot of it is just reading the game, feeling. If you have a lane to cut, but then you got to respace. And if you respace and someone's there, they got to respace. And so that give and take a lot of times for young guys, it takes some time. It takes a feel. There's an art to it. Again, with the way we want to play and we think is the best way to play. So I expect it to be sloppy, even with our real team in training camp. It's tough. I mean, we lost 4 games in a row and we looked awful, and everyone could feel the angst, right? But we knew what we were trying to do with this group, and Mike is so good about just keeping everything level, right? And I'm trying to be the same way with Summer League. Obviously, it's far less stakes, but it's the same feeling. We're so sloppy right now, but every day they get a little bit better. Every day they pick up one cut that they didn't the day before. And as coaches, that's our job, is just to help these guys find a comfort level on both sides of the ball.
If Keegan is able to get a little bit more reps or initiating the break or in the half court, what do you think is the key to him finding success in those areas?
Yeah, Keegan, like I said yesterday, Keegan's taking a step to me in all areas. Defensively, his aggressiveness, his scoring. I say it often that Keegan last year, he was incredible. I mean, all rookie team, all of his awards that he got were well deserved, but he didn't have a lot of wiggle. I told him he needs to go salsa dance. Like there just wasn't a lot of wiggle to his game. or his personality. It was just he walked in Baskin Robbins and it was all vanilla. and it was still ice cream, so it was good. Man, that was great. I got to use that with Keegan. But he's finding a little bit of wiggle. Like, he's finding that confidence. He's throwing some sprinkles on. And I think whether it's pushing the ball, whether it's getting into, and we're not encouraging him to make poor basketball or less efficient basketball plays. Part of what makes Keegan special is he is simple. He can catch it, he can shoot it. And that's what we need from him. But part of his growth and his next step is to find the confidence to take a guy off the dribble 1-2, maybe a step back. And we don't need to do it 10 times a game, but the capability of him doing that opens up the floor for Fox and Domas just having, and even Monk for having one more guy that can just attack and create his own shot, especially when we get to the playoffs.
When you talk about implementing some of the staples into this team, is it those same 5 offensive and defensive as last year, or does that adjust?
Yeah, I tried to narrow it down to 3 on each side of the ball. Just, again, it was so little time to get everything in, and a lot of times, especially with new guys that are coming from college, there's just so much being thrown at them. And 5 on each side with a whole regular season, preseason, full training camp, to me are pretty easy to learn and basically just become second nature. So I'm just keeping it 3 on both sides of the ball. So we just got pace and space. We got ball movement and paint touches, and on the other side of the ball, we have ball pressure with physicality. We have no middle, and then we have multiple efforts where we're flying around. We're not giving up on plays.
What's
Can you
your
tell us about
one more, guys?
Can you tell us about Jordan Ford, his skill set, what do you see in him, and what he could provide this summer?
Yeah, Jordan. It's funny. I told Jordan the other day, and I'm not saying he is this guy, but there's a guy a couple years ago, 5-6 years ago, that just started showing up. He was a local guy. He just started showing up and working out. And obviously, I wasn't here. I was in Golden State, and we were all other places. But we've heard the story. He was around the team. He finished college. He didn't really have anything going, so he just came in because he was local and started playing pickup. And then next thing you know, some of the front office guys here were like, "Oh, this kid's pretty good." So they invite him to the G League. And he plays a couple years in the G League. Does pretty good. Now he gets a 2-way. Does pretty good on a 2-way. Now he's on a roster. And I was like, "Jordan, you know what I'm talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, it's Gabe Vincent." I'm like, "He just started every game in the NBA Finals." So, like, and I'm not saying Jordan is Gabe Vincent, but there's some parallels between what he's doing. He's doing all the right things. He's showing up. He's here early. He's just sitting there watching Fox work out, waiting for the court to be open, and then he's working out. So part of that with local guys that just want to show up and get better, and then are part of our organization in the G League. We love having those guys around. He has a great way about him, a great attitude. He works his butt off, and he plays the right way. He plays our style of basketball. He's smart with the ball. He's tough. He's gritty. So I'm super excited to coach Jordan in summer league.
What's
Hey,
it,
right here, last one,
what's,
and we're
what's it
done.
mean for you guys to have Harrison Barnes back?
I think it's huge. Has that officially gone to? Can I talk about that?
No.
I can't
No.
talk about that. I'm sorry.
Hypothetically, if Harrison Barnes were to come back.
I'm happy for Harrison. I'm happy for us.
All right, we're
Thanks,
done.
guys.
Thanks, Coach.